These systems were built to service clients. They're built to maintain policyholder information, but very few of them were built on an accounting platform. Actually, none of them. Accounting was always last minute.
Welcome back, Better Agents. Nicholas Ayers coming to you live from Better Agency HQ. And in today's video, we're going to tackle a topic that doesn't get a lot of love and a lot of shine, but it's a topic that touches every single insurance agency owner out there. And it's the topic of how do we handle insurance accounting in our agency? Now, of course, accounting isn't one of those sexy topics. It's not one of those topics where you rush to a conference to hear how people are doing it, but it's a topic that if you don't do it right, if you get it wrong, it can cause major problems in your agency. And in this video, we're going to discuss the best practices, how you should handle it, what systems you should be using to do your accounting for the entire agency. Now, I wanted to roll up my sleeves and get my hands just a little bit dirty because I ran an agency for a little over a decade, so of course, I have some opinions when it comes to agency accounting, but at the end of the day, they're just opinions. They're just my own anecdotal evidence. So I wanted to go find somebody that had the knowledge, had the expertise when it comes to accounting because they touch a ton of agencies and they see this from the inside out. So I went and I sought out Crystal Temple. Crystal is the owner of the Pemberley Group, and all they do is agency accounting. They help agencies focus on their accounting, do things the right way, make sure that they're IRS compliant, and they're really kind of having all the things, all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed. And I wanted to find out if my opinions were something that she agreed with or something that she could back up or give more insight to. So here's some of the questions I asked Crystal. The first question I wanted to get clarity on is, should insurance agents be using their agency management system for accounting, or should they be using a third-party software product that specializes in accounting, something like QuickBooks or FreshBooks or Gusto? Where should the accounting be taking place?
So anytime I think of using an agency management system's integrated accounting, first thing that comes to mind is just there's a lot of missing features. These systems were built to service clients. They're built to maintain policyholder information, but very few of them were built on an accounting platform. Actually, none of them. Accounting was always last minute. When you look at other platforms like QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Xero, those are all made just for accounting. And there's a lot of misconceptions that because they're not insurance specific, that they cannot support insurance agencies. And I have not found that to be the case. If anything, they are incredible resources, and we can absolutely, we can customize our chart of accounts. We can customize workflows to work very, very well for independent insurance agencies.
Now, the reason why I asked this question first is because it's a question we get asked a ton here at Better Agency. Agents will ask us, does Better Agency handle accounting? And our response is typically always the same. We want to know, what does accounting mean to you? Because if you ask 10 different agents that question, you'll likely get 10 different answers. For some people, accounting simply means I want to reconcile all my commissions. I want to know what I need to pay my producers accurately and on time. And for us, we say, yes, you can do that in Better Agency. For some people, they want the full suite of products that they might find in another accounting platform like QuickBooks. They want that to live inside of our AMS. And for that, we said, that's not the place for it. We don't think your AMS is where you should be housing your chart of accounts or your expenses for meals and entertainment. We think it's for policy management. We think it's to help you manage your agency, manage your customers, and make more sales. So we don't want to build that. We want to tell you to take that information and house it in a platform that does that exceptionally well, where you're not going to miss anything. It shouldn't live inside of your AMS. I don't know about you, but taxes, accounting, anything that has to do with the federal government or the IRS, frankly, scares the bejesus out of me. There's a lot of failure points, a ton of assumptions that I know I've made and other agents make when it comes to accounting. And I wanted to get Crystal's perspective on where she sees things going wrong for a lot of agents and where they should be more mindful.
So a lot of times when I'm looking through an insurance agency's books, whether it's from a consulting standpoint or from an M&A due diligence standpoint, a lot of the errors that we see, they're very common, and they're in almost every set of books. One of those is that agents are recording customer funds, fiduciary funds, as revenue. While it looks great, to say that $1,000 premium is revenue, of course we know it's not. So we're overstating our revenue. And on the flip side, I see a lot of agents, even if they are using these dedicated accounting system platforms like QuickBooks, they're misallocating their expenses. And a lot of times, something as simple as the difference between a travel expense and meals and entertainment That's a massive difference whenever you get to year end and you have to file your taxes. One of them allows a certain deduction, the other doesn't. And so, these agents, the ones that choose to do the accounting themselves, or if they're outsourcing to a bookkeeper that doesn't specialize in our particular industry, relying on these algorithms or some Google question and answers, things are just not getting where they're supposed to be. So we're overstating revenue, we're putting expenses in the wrong place, and all of those have massive impacts at the end of the year.
The third question I wanted to get answered was, who should be doing the accounting? Is this something that an agency owner or an agent in-house should be doing, or is this something that they should be delegating to a third party? Somebody like a bookkeeper or an accountant or CPA, who should be managing the books and making sure everything is done right?
If I'm asked the question, who should manage an insurance agent's records and their bookkeeping, my answer almost 100% of the time is it should never be the agency owner. And I say that because agency owners, producers, account managers, everyone in the insurance agency and the company, they need to be focusing on their core responsibilities. And for an owner, it's running your business, it's pouring into your business. A lot of times, especially as agents are starting out and it's one or two people, it's very easy just to say, I'm going to do the books, I can do it in the evenings, I can do it on the weekends. And that works for a little while, especially if you're familiar enough with the software. But I think once you get to the point, especially once you get to the point where you're paying a producer or you have an employee, I'd say that's probably the easiest threshold. Just because then you start getting into different reporting responsibilities, especially if they're on payroll. There's tax filings. If it's a contractor, you need to make sure there's appropriate forms in place for your records. So I'd say if there was any threshold that we're going to identify other than just when you start the business, it would be that first employee or that first contractor, the first producer.
I'd like to thank Crystal for joining us for this important conversation and helping us have a greater understanding of how accounting should work in our insurance agencies. If you'd like to learn more about Crystal and the work that she does at the Pemberley Group, then you can find out more by going to www.thepemgroup.com, or you can click on the link in the description below. I'll put that there for your convenience. And if you're an insurance agency owner who's looking for one platform that's going to help you make more sales, retain more customers, and manage your overall agency in one platform, then I want to encourage you to schedule a discovery call today at Better Agency by going to www.betteragency.io. I'll also put a link in the description below. We do comparative rating, we do AMS, we do marketing automation and CRM and proposals all in one system so that you can have all of your tech unified in one platform. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again on the next video.